This is Duran and Chris from the past because when you watch this, it's going to be after Evo. We're here for a special kind of filming. We thought it'd be a cool idea. Essentially, we're going to give our kind of thoughts, ideas, expectations from Evo before Evo, and then you guys will get the second half, and the second half will basically be going over what happens after Evo. So we're actually here on a Thursday, which is super rare for people that don't know, because when I come in here saying, hello, it's Thursday, get hype, it's like a Sunday or a Monday, or that's behind the scenes though.
You don't care. But yeah, we be hitting you all that timely content. We've got to plan that well in advance. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
for sure. So this one we're just kind of I feel normally we have kind of like itinerary, ideas, thoughts, process, that we want to do, and I think this one we're just gonna kind of have some fun. And we wanted to give some predictions before Evo. Maybe we were kind of briefly talking like, of course we're gonna focus on Street Fighter Six. I would love to get other games, focused on within the community. It's kind of hard though. Street Fighter is definitely the biggest game. We did start some Tekken stuff that will be starting this week as well. But we're gonna bring you the Street Fighter content, so we're gonna primary focus on Street Fighter. Chris follows a lot more games than I do, so if he wants to give his picks for maybe other things too at the end, I think that'd be kind of fun too. But the conversation that we'll be having is basically for Street Fighter focused. So, do we want to start with who's gonna win it all? Who's your pick, or do we want to go top
Um,
8 players we think make noise, have a good chance of making top 8,
you
and
know
then we
what?
narrow it down to one?
Let's do top eight because I think as I talk out top eight, I will be able to finally decide on a pick. Because I knew this was going to be a question we were going to have, and honestly, I still don't have an answer on who I think is
Yeah.
taking it. But if we fill out top eight, I think at that point I'll just have to figure from that be like, you know what, I'm picking. Yo, so let's say top eight. So I got my thing up here. I got my notables, and I'm looking through. So first things first, off top, we're gonna go Minna. Minna's been, as much as he hasn't been winning, he's still been in the conversation each time, getting top eight, getting top three, and next up, the person who's kind of the only person who's been stopping him really is Punk. And Punk recently, I think both me and you would agree, Punk's been on a bit of a run lately. He's kind of been he's always been someone who like would win, but in the big moments would not choke. Because honestly, he doesn't really choke. It's just he gets beat in those
Yeah.
big moments. And recently, he's been kind of he won CEO, and it means it's different when you went offline. He's been doing well online against Minna, and Minna has been playing because they took it to. There was a TNS I think 2 weeks ago where they took it to final game, final set, and Punk took it, came back three straight on him. He's been picking up Geef now, so we'll see what happens there. But those two, and of much I know Minna's Dominican, but we gonna claim him. He's North American, but also lives in the states. So uh, let's say that. Um, Man, I'm looking at the list, and honestly, he's almost going in order. Gotcha-kun. Gotcha-kun was my pick to win Capcom Cup and got real close. So I think he'll do well. Rashid's stronger, so we'll see that. Ooh, besides that, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling.
I'm
I
writing
don't.
these down too, so we're gonna reevaluate after. I think this would be a lot of fun just to say,
I'm gonna go
oh, I
Toki
got
though.
these people.
The
Okay,
classic,
okay, though.
the classic
I mean,
pick. He always
yep.
comes. He always comes through in the big moments when it's important. Tuesday, chill. Appreciate you making biscuits, but yeah. Um, Tokido's the classic pick.
Absolutely. I
Besi-
I don't disagree with any of the 4 picks you've made so far.
yeah.
I feel like these are the
Um,
safe bets for sure.
Besides that, I'm trying to go like there's a lot of like strong players, but top eight, especially at Evo, that's different.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
some killers, man. That's why,
who?
like, there are other tournaments I feel like are great, like Combo Breaker and Capcom Cup and the Pro Tours of all the other games. But like, it's just something about Evo, man. All the killers are there, and you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here and I'm seeing. I don't think Big Bird makes it. Big Bird seems to kind of consistently. Maybe he breaks through, but he's been kind of just consistently being like a well placing player. But at the big tournaments where everyone's there, he has. I don't think he's gotten like he's broken through the way Angry Bird did last year. I don't. Now that would be kind of crazy though if it goes Angry
Right.
Bird wins and then Big Bird breaks through and it's a win. That'd be a fire story. But I don't feel that. Top eight. I feel he gets. I feel like he doesn't have. I don't think he has it.
I
Not
think he's
yet.
leveled up a little bit, dropping Marissa. I know that sounds awful, but like I feel like him switching to a different character or
Hmm.
having an additional character actually helps him get better.
I agree. He picked a better
So
character. Um, yeah, like he picked a better character. Character with a reversal. Character with good mix. Um, decent damage, honestly, and great damage depending on the hits. I have not seen from him that consistency yet, to where I feel like he'll break through. He has really. He has really high moments. I honestly feel that's kind of like difference between him and Angry Bird. Angry Bird is kind of consistent, and it's like, but Big Bird will have those flashes where I'm like, oh wow, and Angry Bird's kind of consistently, but like at the same time, like if you look at it, like Angry Bird just one mix up, and this was after after Big Bird got I think third there. So we'll see, but I kind of hear, but okay, so for the four, I have those two. I have those four right now. Now I'm trying to think of the next, or no, I have what? Yeah, I have those four.
yep.
I don't think Problem X is there yet because he's gonna have like I know Bison's really strong and everything, but also no reversal. Will Blanca cover those matches? I don't think Problem X has shown he's at that top 8-6 level yet. Um, Chris Wong,
I think that's a good one.
I think Chris Wong is one of my picks.
He's just so consistent.
Yeah, he's just a solid, calm, clutch player. He's
You are
not.
locking Chris Wong.
I'm gonna lock in Chris Wong
Okay.
with the power of Luke and Akama. I'm
Yep.
gonna lock him strong.
Okay, that's a safe bet.
I've been looking at Kakaru for a minute, and I'm still not sure.
Because he doesn't play JP anymore. He dropped him right
Yeah,
for
he's
Bison.
on Bison now. He's on Bison now. I'm
Okay.
gonna think about
Interesting.
him. You know what? I'm gonna holla at your man's Fudo.
Fudo.
I'm gonna
Okay.
holla at Fudo's been looking real good right now. He's on Ed. I think
Till
Ed
he ran into
is.
the CJ
Yeah.
and he got geeked up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, if you don't run into no geefs, and honestly, the only geefs that I've
Snake eyes.
like Snake Eyes isn't here. It isn't there. Snake Eyes don't go to tournaments no more. There are some strong Geef players online. I don't know who all's there, but there's a couple strong, I've seen. Simply Tricks is a strong Geef player. Coupon's a strong Geef player. Pimbus the Wizard is a strong Geef player. That I don't know if any of them are going on top of course, our Colorado Geefs who are strong. But at the same time, like no one's at that level. So it's hard to say, but I mean he lost to CJ, but CJ's a strong player, so
I'm just sad that you said that Snake Eyes doesn't go to tournaments anymore. I did not know that.
yeah, Snake Eyes like I think the only like he went to Capcom Cup because he happened to win that the World Warrior, but I don't think he's been to like consistently been to tournaments in like years. Like people,
Crazy. I did
I
not know
remember when
that.
he was complaining about how PC isn't at locals. The first thing people said was like, "How are you complaining? You don't go to locals." And I was like, I
Fair.
mean, what were you gonna say? Yeah, maybe if you showed up as Snake Eyes, the guy who's won Evo and gotten sponsored stuff, maybe they can get some PC stuff.
Right.
So it's hard to say. But I'm gonna go Fudo. Fudo's been playing real strong. He's got
Okay.
Ed. He's kind of I think Ed's a little is underrated, and I've been seeing like Ed do well, and he has pretty good matchups. Um, the only his little like his only weakness for the most part is he has some slower buttons. So like he doesn't have a 6 frame medium button. So when drive reversal, he has to do a jab
He
punish.
doesn't, but I also think he's got some cool stuff that other people don't have. Like his flicker stuff reaches a little bit further than you
Yeah.
expect it to.
Hmm. Like
So I feel like Ed's get pickups that other characters don't get.
I agree. Like his jump light kick is like if he neutral jumps just anti-air. Like that's how
Hmm.
I've been playing it now. Like if he, because before I'm like, oh, he neutral jumped, and then I just get hit from. I'm like, what? Now
Yeah.
literally he neutral jumps. I'm like, okay, crouching fierce. Like
Yeah. I
I'm
think
just
Ed's really good. I think he's also I don't feel like he's top tier, so I feel like a lot of knowledge. It's a lot of knowledge checks with him.
He's a very knowledge check character. Like I ran
Yeah,
into an Ed and we played a set and I think I lost like 5-1 and I had no clue what was happening. So I
yeah,
had to go find some matches and try to hear. And that's actually how I learned about like the neutral jump anti-air was like I went and found some matches and I saw a play. Oh, okay. Yeah, just assume the crouch, the jump light kick and just anti-air and things like
fair.
that. So he's going to be a real knowledge check character, and there are a few strong Eds on here. Like Chris CCH has been doing real strong with Ed here.
Hmm.
Shine's been playing a lot of Ed recently. I think he's been playing more Ed than Chun. Like Ed's been more of his counter pick character over Chun, except for like certain matchups. Like he doesn't like Jury with Kim at all, so he'll play Chun in that. But like a lot of matches, he's been picking Ed, and so is that. But
Which is weird because I thought you feel pretty comfortable with the jury matchup
I
with him,
personally
right?
feel pretty comfortable with that matchup. I don't think it's a bad matchup. I honestly think it's pretty even. Because Jury has to take a lot of stuff. Like she has to respect bomb. Her buttons, as good as they are, they can be whiff punished pretty good with
Hmm.
Kimberly, especially now that Vagabond has been buffed. That's been helping a bunch in that matchup. Um, I personally don't think it's that bad, but he doesn't like it at all, and but he also has Chun to deal with it. Like if I had Chun, maybe I probably would prefer Chun in that matchup, but
Yeah,
the only matchup in season one anyway that I felt like I should get a pocket character was Guile, and now with season two, I personally think she can fight every matchup, and it's just on totally on me. And then
yeah,
so now I don't feel like I need a pocket character. If I have one, it's just for funds.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
okay. Let me think. All right, so
Two more.
Fudo, I
We got
need
two
two more.
spots
All
left.
right, two more. Who's gonna sneak in? Someone always sneaks in.
I was gonna say there's always that unknown variable.
Who is it? Oh, Combo Fiend's on here. Nice. Do I feel? Oh, you know who I think might have a possibility, but it's hard to say. Let me see. Is he? I don't know if he's going. I hope he's going. Let me hold on. I'm gonna check this Twitter real quick before I say anything, because they've been playing like, oh my God, recently. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we got any Evo tweets.
I just got mind blown because I didn't realize that there's a Shen and a Shien. So there's Shen who plays Gen, who's been around. Unless
Oh,
I've been saying
oh,
his name wrong this whole time.
oh, yeah.
And then there's Zhen.
Yeah, there's Xin, the Chinese. I think is he still on DJ?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
both play DJ.
and then there's also Shin Chang, who also plays DJ.
Yeah, I
uh,
did not know there was two because I saw Zhen on here and I was like,
yeah,
oh, did they spell his name wrong? And a little bit down the list, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
nope.
You got Jin, and Shin, and they all play DJ. And Shin's on here as well. There he is. Yeah, I think he's been on Ed recently, so I don't know if he's been on just DJ. But and if anyone online, if you ever ran into FF16, really strong DJ player online, that's Shin Chang, longtime Street Fighter player out of Texas, Austin, I believe,
Yeah,
if I recall correctly. But
I gotta see the Texas FGC. That's on my itinerary. We're gonna
yeah,
get that done this
yeah,
year.
I believe he's Austin, but I mean, I met like so Daddy Finale. I met a lot of DFW guys
Yeah,
for Third Strike players specifically. So I'll definitely give you some info. I'm trying to see who do I think is gonna sneak in, and honestly, I'm gonna go if it looks like I don't see any tweets on him, so it looks like he's not heading out there. I was gonna say Boosie, who's been a kin player who's been killing it recently. Won East Coast World Warrior and then also won I want to say a TNS recently, like back to back, and made it look like he 3-0'd Shine, and it looked like Shine didn't know how to play the game. It was nasty.
yeah.
And then he beat Minna at East Coast World Warrior after coming. I think he came back like 3-0. But yeah, he was looking. wild good lately, but I don't see any tweets from him. It looks like he may not be there. So I'm gonna who am I gonna throw in here as like my random pick that's doing
To give you insight, what I'm thinking too is, so let's do your top 8 that you think are gonna make it. Then we'll pick who we think's gonna win, and then we'll do for fun like 2 to 3 players that like you're cheering for that you hope to see do well, kind of thing. Shake the
okay.
pool up a little bit.
I'm trying. Okay, so I just need two more. So let's say, you know what? Let's say Kakaru. Let's say Kakaru makes it,
Okay.
and then let's say, you know, I've been thinking it but not saying it. I'm gonna say Chris CCH.
Okay.
Chris CCH is on put on there. He's got a real strong Ed, has a real strong Akama. Um, been doing really well recently in TNS. Been getting top 8, top 5s, etc. Getting in finals, just not breaking out. It's hasn't broken past that Punk Mina stage. That's really been kind of lock him down. It's like so I'm gonna say Chris CCH been doing really strong. He it's like if those guys didn't enter, it feels like he would just be winning every time. He does so well. And I was watching him on the Level Up stream in the suite, and he beat Ending Walker in the mirror match with Ed. He went 5-4 versus Problem X Bison. It's like it could switch on. So I'm gonna go ahead and just call him my dark horse. Last one for top 8, Chris CCH. Let me see something.
All right. So I already got 4 kind of picked out based off of what we've been talking about. Of course, I'm gonna put Punk on there.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm a Punk fan. I feel like when he's on his A game, he's unbeatable. I truly feel that way. It's funny because we joked and kidded when I came out to Colorado to visit, and I said, "Oh, Punk, one of the best players," and somebody in the room was like, "Oh, he's not the best anymore," or I said top 2 or something like that, and he's like, "He's not top 2," and I said he's one of the best players, and then since that statement, the dude has just been popping off. He's been winning
hmm
everything. Like Punk of old looks like he's back. I understand it's a completely different game, so I do get where it comes from with that. So I got to put my boy Punk in there, and of course last year my you know, pick was Mena. I feel like Mena is just so consistent that like
hmm
even if he doesn't win it all, he's probably going to be in top 8. And if he doesn't, it's going to be really close to top 8,
Yeah.
probably top 16 at worst, area kind of thing. And then you spoke about one that I thought you were going to put on and you didn't. And I got to say Problem X because I feel like he's always, I don't want to say slept on,
hmm
but like I always feel like he doesn't get the respect that he deserves, not necessarily from you, just in general. Because I feel like he
hmm
always just kind of shows up and kicks ass. And now that he has his character again, I feel
If he had more time, I probably would have put him there. And I was thinking about it, but I feel like he's more of a slow burn type of player. So I feel like you give him like another year or something like that. But that's why I was like, I don't think it's been enough time for him to get the top 8. Like top 8, like he might get like top 24 or something like that. But top 8, I don't see it yet.
he's got to be my dark horse. And then my fourth pick, it's got to be my boy Knuckle Dew. I love me some Knuckle Dew.
hmm
I do, and I feel like he plays. I think he plays a character that is really consistent, and I don't want to talk too much on matchups because I don't play Guile, but I feel like Guile is just such a well-rounded pick that he always has that fighting chance. You don't watch him and go, "Oh man, this is a bad matchup for Guile." I always feel like, I mean, maybe JP, but like
Mm.
I feel like it gives him a good chance to always have that leg up on the competition just because he plays such a well-rounded character, kind of thing. So those are my 4 that I feel like pretty confident about.
hmm
And of course, it's Evo, so who knows?
Yeah, yeah, right.
I also have Lashar on my list.
Okay.
I know he dropped Chun, which makes me sad, and he's playing Ed, but I do feel like having both characters isn't a bad thing because I do feel like Chun is still really good. She's just not what she was.
Mm.
And then that's my solid top five. And then after that, I'm just making kind of, you know, picks that like, we'll see. I want to say Big Bird just because I love Big Bird. And I do think him playing Rashid helps.
Yeah,
But I think that's in that Problem X kind of area where like
I
maybe he
agree.
hasn't been on him long enough kind of thing.
Like he's been,
So
I feel like it's more, it's just like, lo- it's kind of like one of those things where I haven't to this point, and it's like no disrespect or anything, because I do enjoy Big Bird overall, but it's like I haven't seen him like when I watched Punk play recently, I'm like I don't know how you beat that guy,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
haven't
Punk's
seen
so good
that
that
to
like you
Big
wait
Bird
for him
yet.
to mess up. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen that from Big Bird yet, to where like I haven't seen anything where he just looks undeniable, and that's where it's hard to put me in there yet. So I think it's gonna be like something of that nature. Now that said, we'll see. Like he's definitely on. Like I feel like he's knocking on the gate of that level of play where like he's won things, but it's been like invitationals, or he went to Europe, and I'm not hating on Europe, but like it was Europe, and there was there, and he got top three, but it wasn't like this is everybody. And I
yeah,
haven't seen when everybody's there. I haven't seen where he's broken through yet, and that's where I was like, I can't. But this could be the one. Like it's got like you keep knocking long enough. Maybe this is the one.
yeah. And then I think after Lashar, I'm gonna go with Momochi. I feel like
Okay.
Momochi's just been quiet for too long.
Mhm.
And he's such a godlike player that maybe because I've seen some Ed videos out there of him doing some crazy shit, and I'm like, all right, Momochi, are we back, baby? So we'll see what happens with that. And then my seventh pick, I'm gonna go with Oil King, and
Okay.
that's
Okay.
purely based off of I think he is the best Rashid player right now
Mhm.
outside of Gachikun. I
Mhm.
feel like they're 1-2. Gachikun's very solid. And I'm also kind of playing the betting board. Like you already took Gachikun, so I'm gonna go with Oil King, and
Okay.
hopefully,
Yeah.
mine makes it, yours doesn't, kind of idea. And then lastly, this might be my homer pick. I gotta go with Nephew. I've always been a Nephew
I.
fan.
Mhm.
He's been grinding his ass off
Yeah.
so much that like I know he plays Jury. I feel Jury is good, but I feel there are characters that are better.
Mhm.
Like smart pick, I feel like Chris Wong above Nephew. But I just really love Nephew, and I've been following him really closely and watching the work and effort that he's been putting in
Yeah.
behind the scenes. But I will say I do watch him play Punk, and it's just like the question you had where you're like, yo, how do you beat this dude? Because like, dog, Nephew's godlike, and then you watch Punk, and it's like 3-0s, 3-1 sets, and you're like, damn, all right, I don't.
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
so like I'll feel like this. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm better than nephew. Far from it. But when I play nephew, when I run into him in ranked, I know I have a shot, and that's where
yeah,
it's like I can get something in there. I could take a game off. Maybe maybe I can string together a set possibly. Punk, I'm like, it feels like he's playing Cammy, and it feels like I'm fighting Guile.
yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like, and I see why because like I saw a lot of like tier lists have like Cammy in top tier, top three, or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I don't see it. And then I see like Punk play, and I'm like, oh, okay. I
Yeah.
mean, she just whiff punishes his life, dog. Like she's so fast and impressive, and I feel like she's
Yeah.
just always there, and
Like
he's always there for that.
no, it's definitely Punk because Cammy is definitely strong. I personally don't have her top tier. I have her A tier, like high, like A tier,
Yeah,
because but it's Punk doing that. It's not necessarily Cammy, but like because I'll play like you'll play Cammys and you'll be like, oh, you clearly you watch Punk, but you're
yeah,
not Punk, and that's the thing. If you're not like that, so like, but like Punk is literally the template of Cammy players. Like that's when I run into people in ranked and I see them trying to and they're strictly working on trying to whiff punish and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, you clearly watch Punk, but also
yeah,
you could take advantage of that because I'm like, you're not Punk, and therefore you're looking for this. I'm gonna do this, that kind of thing. But he's literally the whole temp like. Punk, that's cool. And we were actually, well, maybe this will be something we talk into later because as we get into different region stuff. But like, if you think about it, there are a lot of characters, or at least a few. I don't want to say a lot because I haven't looked them up and did the numbers, but like there are some characters, unlike in the past where you like who's the best character and you're gonna go look to Japan. There are more than a few characters where if I'm thinking of the best, I'm looking in this, I'm looking over here.
Yeah,
And Cammy is by far, if you're looking for the best Cammy, it's Punk.
yeah. But it's also funny because I feel like that's where tier list biasness comes in
Hmm.
because it's like, yo, is Cammy really that fire or is Cammy fire because it's Punk
Yeah.
kind of
I
thing?
don't think Cammy is top five S tier whatever. I think his Punk is just that good, and Cammy is a good character for sure.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like with Geef too, I feel like Japan always puts Geef so high, and I'm like, Isuba's got y'all that
Yeah.
scared.
I'll be kind of honest. Me personally, I know they've been putting him in S tier, and I think in order for you to be S tier, I don't think it has to be the best players can win with this character. I feel like it's gotta be like so briefly. Let's say like I said, Grand Blue. If you play Grand Blue, there's a character in that game called Nier. Nier is by far the best character in that game, and it's not
Yeah,
a question.
saw a list
And
that just came out with her on
yeah,
it.
and a random Nier could fuck you up, and it'd be
Yeah,
like, here, I have not just been random out by Geefs. I'm still
that's fair.
whooping Geef ass
It's
now.
still Geef at the
Yeah,
end of the day. Yeah,
I'm still beating I'm still doing well against Geef after these patches, and so I feel like if it was just oh my, like all of a sudden I'd be getting like I could lose to random Lukes in season one. I could lose to random Ken still now. I could lose to a random Ken and just get kinned. I could lose
yeah,
to a random Akuma or something like that. But I'm not losing to just the random geef on the street, and I think
yeah,
that's how I feel like. So yes, he's definitely way better. And if you're a strong player now, geef player now, he definitely puts you in a situation to where he's forcing you to guess. Where before he it was a lot tougher for him to put you in a forced to guess situation.
yeah.
Um,
That's fair.
but
All right,
yeah,
for my top 8 pick, I'm gonna drop Nephew out for Chris Wong,
nephew.
just because
Oh,
I feel like I'm gonna put Nephew in my who I'm cheering for
yeah.
that I think could do good
Mhm.
type of placement.
Okay, okay, I feel you.
All right, so top eights, we're locked in with our top eight. So now, big question's got to be if you're putting your money, we're in Vegas, we're at the fucking craps table. We're putting all our chips on this one spot. What are we hitting?
All right. So if I'm hitting up DraftKings and I'm like, I'm seeing that high, that plus 21 and whatever, and all I gotta do is wager $10 and I'll win something crazy. I'm like, for who obviously I'm rooting for, like, So are we talking just who am I rooting for? Or are we talking about who
No,
I
we're
see?
gonna get rooting next.
Okay,
So we're
just
gonna go top eight, what
all
we
right.
think, who
Long
we think's
shot.
gonna win,
Okay,
and then we'll
okay.
go.
Who am I putting my money on? Realist. Oh, this is the realistic. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm about to put like 100 on this. I'm feeling realistic here. I'm going Punk.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
it's
think
been
I
a
think we're
minute.
in agreement right now.
He,
He's super hot fire lately, and
yeah,
I just think I don't
like
disagree. I don't, and even if he doesn't win, like I still feel like it's the safest bet because he's been on such a tear.
I feel like he gets the top eight winners, he's winning. If he gets the top eight losers, he's still got a shot at winning. The only way I see this not kind of like getting to the point where Punk's at least in like winners finals is if first to two maybe you get random out, maybe you run into a geef and you just guessed wrong that day or something like that. But otherwise, I feel like Punk's been killing it. He's been on a tear. He has Cammy, he has Bison, he has Akuma. He even has a pretty decent kin. Honestly, I put Punk as literally I've been rating Punk as number three Kimberly in the country. Like he's that strong as a player, and if he's on it and he's reacting properly and everything's good to like there's no issues, like it's hard to like it's hard for me to even with Mena here because I know he's been on Geef, but even that Geef is like is still relatively new. I don't think and I've seen him beat all of his characters with Cammy. Like I've seen him, so I know it's not possible. So
Yeah,
I think if it's going on, hey, I'm putting money on down. I really think Phil believe this. If I pull up DraftKings and there's the Evo bets available, I'm going Punk.
I think that's A good bet. I'm gonna lock it in with the same thing with you. I know we sound super predictable and boring, but now we get to have some fun.
Okay.
So give me your top three hopefuls. This is like in your heart, you're like, this is
This
my
is
dude,
this is easy
or
for
this
me.
is characters I want to see do well, or something along those lines. So give me three.
Actually, I'm gonna say first I'll say easy, but I'm gonna try to not make number three a not easy pick. So
Okay.
number one, free, easy, shine. Number one.
Shine. I knew you were gonna say Shine. I knew
Shine.
it.
It's easy. It's free. It's even though he's the best. I personally have him rated as the best Kimberly in the country. You might argue Psycho maybe over him. It's I'm not gonna argue because I think they're both really strong. But I have those two number one and two. It looks like Psycho is in there this year, so not Shine easy. Um, I see like he definitely has those flashes of where he could make it. It's the it's just the flashes don't last long enough yet, and that's where it's at right now. But I've seen him do really strong. I've seen him beat Punk's Kimberly in tournament. I've seen him use again. Ed has been putting him. I think he actually beat Punk recently at World Warrior East using Ed, playing the matchup with Ed. So he has beat Punk recently with that. But in general, he always seems to kind of fall around like the top 20 area, something like that.
Yeah.
There's always like, damn man, if he had gotten like one match, two match, he would have got. That's kind of bit where Shine seems to be at. So I like let's see what happens there. But he's definitely a hopeful. He's one of those ones where he could definitely get there, and he plays characters again. Ed's a knowledge check character. Kimberly's a knowledge check character. Chun can be a knowledge check character because there's not too many strong Chuns. I know I ran into one recently and I got 5-0'd, and I had to go to the lab and be like, because I didn't know what her frames were like on her forward roundhouse. I look up her forward roundhouse. I'm like, oh, you like it's just spacing. It's a spacing thing. It's not a frame thing. I know it's always negative. Same thing with her stance cancels. I didn't know what the frames were on the stance cancels. So like I'm fighting someone and I'm pressing a button and I was getting counter hit. And I'm like, that doesn't look right. And then I'm like, oh, all depends on what button you press. So I had to like
Yeah.
things like that. So he
Chun's
has
so
some,
weird in six, bro.
yeah, he has some
Like
knowledge characters. So
I've been playing her since four, and she just has things that like her go-to things that she normally has, she doesn't have in six. Like forward roundhouse, for example. Like
mhm.
forward roundhouse in five was godlike, and forward roundhouse in six is so weird to me
Yeah,
because I loved the spacing where you can make it plus, and it's like it's always negative now.
yeah.
So it's weird.
But it's always
So
negative, but the spacing of it makes it so that it's tough to press. So like he was playing them, and I literally was like, "Can you space it to make it plus?" And because I didn't know what the frame was, I look and I'm like, "It's -3," and I'm like, "Well, let me see." And then I looked and I was like, "Oh, you can't make it plus. It's always
yeah, I
negative."
think at best it's -1, right?
I couldn't even. I got for everything I was trying, I could not find any spacing that didn't make it -3.
Okay.
But the problem is
All
that
right.
it's so far out that when he jabbed, I was getting counter hit. And so
Yeah.
I had to go find, I actually have to do a slower button because
Speaking
it's
of
like
which,
three.
that is the next fundamentals video that I want to do
Okay.
is because we go over with punishing, but I want to go over because this is something that I am not the best with as a player,
Hmm.
and that's space traps where you are putting
Okay.
out stuff and you're like, oh, I want you to press a button after this because I know yours is gonna whiff and I'm gonna
Hmm.
whiff your whiff
That's a good one.
essentially.
That's literally something I've been working on recently because that's
Okay,
been an,
'cause, I'm awful at it. Like that's like the highest level when I get to like where I plateau. It's like oftentimes because I'm like I don't know how to put people into those space frames where I'm like, oh, I do this and I'm looking for you to press a button so I can punish based off of this
yeah.
kind of thing.
I've been
So,
working on that recently with Kimberly because jabs are the bane of her, where a lot of times she'll be negative and she's right in your face, and people
hmm
will want to press jab immediately. And so I've been working on like block screens to figure that out. And so yeah, we can definitely that'll definitely be
cool.
good to talk about.
All right, so
Uh,
Shine was easy. That was predictable. I had
Shine.
Shine written down before you even announced Shine. After that, I don't have a clue who
Okay,
you're going with your other two.
so with my other two, this is a little. You know what? I'm gonna keep it easy again because I said I'm gonna just do number three, be a little bit tougher,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go Matsu. Matsu's the Japanese Kimberly that's coming over.
Is it
Mats,
Matsu or
yeah,
Batsu?
Matsu, Matsu.
Okay.
Matsu is a Japanese Kimberly player, really strong. I like his Kimberly a lot. He still has some of the tendencies that the Asian Kims have, which is that they love a random EX slide, boy. They will love they'll love a Mamma Mia, a Hail Mary. You watch any Japanese, any Korean Kim long enough, you gonna catch a random. Why did you do that? And
Matsu 56.
yeah, Matsu 56 is
Okay. Can
here.
you, good question, random, because I don't know shit about Kim.
Mhm.
Can you make slide safe
Not
spacing
EX
wise?
EX slide, no. EX slide
Okay.
is always negative because it
Punish negative
punish
or,
counter negative,
oh shit.
always.
Okay.
Like
But
yeah,
I'm assuming it's super fast and that's
it
why
is
they,
very fast. It's just a sudden yellow streak, but it's so bad because most people default to blocking low. So as soon as they see that, they block
uh,
low, and then you're like, well, and then and that's the thing. You'll see some of the best. I've seen Jackie do it. Jackie's consistently usually like top Kim MR total, if not just Japan, but sometimes a lot of times he's like number one Kim in MR. Matsu is also up there. There's a Korean Kim. Oh my God, there's a Korean Kimberly, bro. I've been watching recently, and niggas just like, yeah, I'm about to try playing like him, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But I say, like, you
is it
look at,
just random or,
he's like he does a lot of things where I'm like, no. But who am I gonna tell you? I'm not legend rank, so I
right?
guess I guess I guess you know what? It's working for him. But
Do what you do,
there are
bruh. Do
things where
what
I'm
you do.
like, there are things here I'm just like, no. Why'd you do that? There's a much better combo. Did you not read the Like I was literally watching him play a tournament from last week, and I'm like, bro, did you not read the patch notes? Because there are so many better things you could be doing right now. Not even like mix-ups and stuff like that, but like you could have killed meterless. Why are you doing this combo from a year ago? It's like stuff like that where I'm
Funny.
like, we're like here, and then of course, yes, there are some random stuff. This man is like neutral. What's that? I'm skipping it every time. I'm gonna EX teleport 4 times in a row, just hoping you block once, and then I'm gonna make you gas wrong a few times. So he's annoying. But yeah, I'm gonna go Matsu. Matsu's a strong
Okay.
Kimberly player. I would love for him to do well. I feel like he's kind of underrated too. I feel like us Kimberly players know him, but he hasn't had like a breakout performance. I don't know if he's been entering World Warrior stuff like that, but I feel like he's a strong one. And then for number three, hmm, this one's a little tougher. It's hard for me because part of me wants to say Diaphone because of course I want him to do well.
I do love Diaphone. Even outside of like the Kimberly content,
Yeah.
I just love his content, period,
Yeah,
honestly.
and he's been on Aki. Like Aki's his go is that's it. Like I haven't seen his Kimberly at all recently. He's just been on Aki. Um, so he's up there. I would like Enzo the Hakoge is up there. He's a young,
That's the young kid, right?
yeah, he's like 13 or
Whew.
so. He's been doing really well, getting top eights in tournaments. I love to see him do well.
We have a 15-year-old, and I'm like, yo, where you at, bro? I'm seeing these kids do clips and stuff, and I'm like, look, hey, man.
Dom's right here, bro. 13. Like
I'm waiting for you to put in this work, bro.
Dom's right here. He's doing like let's see. Like I'm looking at the list. Like K Brad's back. I'd love to see him, do well and kind of get back into the public eye. Um, man, who
You got
is?
one more.
Yeah, I'm about to say who do I want? Mm-mm-mm. I'm scrolling. I'm just trying to see what name is calling out to me. Who is gonna be put on? Who is gonna be like, yeah, he's the next one we gotta start watching for. And let's go with my heart. Who is my heart thinking? Honestly, I'm gonna go, and it feels a little like not on the nose, but it feels like once I say it, it's gonna be like, well, maybe like here. I'm gonna go JB.
Okay.
JB, I think he's strictly on Rashid these days. I don't think he's playing Jamie at all these days. But JB I feel like he's a little bit underrated in six. Like I don't feel people are putting enough respect on his name for how well he's
That's
done,
fair.
how strong his Rashid is. I personally felt like the reason I felt like a lot of Rashid players were gonna do good last year, and he almost made into the finale. I think he got like second or third at the LCQ last year for Capcom Cup. But I feel like people are like sleeping on him a bit. He's really like I feel like he's probably the strong like if he's not the strongest Rashid, he's like probably number two because Dual Kevin has I think he has better results, but also Dual Kevin kind of lives in an area like lives in the Midwest, so that area is a little where JB's living in Cali, so you got a lot of strong players in the area. But I feel like JB will he could be looked over. A lot of tech, great execution. Knows a lot of like grinds. I feel like JB's kind of being overlooked in six. It's like people kind of now that Rashid isn't like he was in five or something like that. I feel like people aren't looking kind of overlooking JB. So I'm gonna go JB as my third as I want to see you put some people on get on stream and make it look nasty and be like y'all forgot.
Yeah, I do like him because he's also very humble too, and that's like one of my favorite. I mean, I've never met him, but just based off of
Yeah, he seems like a cool
the
dude. Yeah, for sure.
yeah the stuff I've seen on him, he doesn't give off that arrogance
Hmm.
kind of vibe. So
Yeah. Oh, also shout out to JB because the reason I learned about the save states in training mode was watching his stream. Because with Jamie,
oh
he we use him all the time with Jamie because that's how he practiced the follows after super. So he's the first person I'd seen do that. So I learned that from him. So yeah,
yeah,
shout out to
I need
him
to
for
step my
that.
training mode up for sure. All right, so my three,
Yeah, let's hear it. Who are you rooting for?
mine are all gonna be Homer picks.
So you
So
going
of course
all?
I'm
You
gonna
going
put
all? Okay.
nephew. So first I got nephew, then I got Just a Kid.
Hmm.
I watched so much Just a Kid stuff that or Jack stuff that like I mean it'd be crazy for me not to say him because he's by far my go-to. Like oh I want some knowledge. Just a Kid drops a video. It's like and I swear it's like he's in my brain. Him and Big Nasty Kale. They do anything and it's just like I was talking about like oh man I'm really shitty at space trapping with Jury and then he drops a space trapping video like 2 days after. In my mind I said that type of thing. And then the third pick was actually kind of hard, and the reason I say that is because I want to say Mago,
That's what I
because
thought you were gonna
y'all
go.
right, y'all know how much I love Mago, so I put Mago down, but I feel like I have to give like an honorary mention to Brian F. Just because I'm really big on people that do well for the community as well.
Mhm.
Because I do feel like there are a lot of really great players, but I do feel like there's also a lot of really great players that don't go out necessarily win Evos and things like that, but they do such great content and they're such fantastic players, and we just don't think of them in that same kind of pool. And I feel like Brian F or like Daya is one of them because he'll go out and win some stuff, but then like big tournaments and you're kind of like, oh man, I wish Diaphone would have done
Yeah.
more kind of thing. But like you love his content kind of thing.
Yeah, the iPhone I definitely is one of every time he's one of those he's one of those players where like damn I wish he would focus on just this.
Yeah,
Like he's like it's one I wish he could just focus on just games and every time it feels like he's getting closer. Guys, go encourage him on that tweet. He had a tweet like a week or so ago saying where he got a promotion but he hasn't gotten a pay raise yet, so he's basically doing the new job plus his old job, but they haven't backfilled his old job and they haven't talked to him about pay for the new
yeah,
job. So he's like, right now I'm kind of bringing in enough where I could do it, but it's like it's scary to not have the stability of this, and I'm like,
yeah.
bro, if you had time to focus, because this Diaphone has won tournaments in six,
Hmm.
like he's won before Shine and Psycho had won anything. Diaphone had won like a 400 person online tournament with Kimberly in
Yeah.
season one before we got the buffs, and he did well. He got top eight for the Chipotle tournament. I think him and I think they won the free trip, or I think he won like Chipotle for a year off that, and I feel like they might have won a trip to Evo. Him and his partner. I can't recall how well they
It's
did, but
hard too because you watch
yeah,
those people and they're so godlike and like I wish you could just be like, bro. like stop the work, just put in work on these fools, because that's how like Kizzy K is for me. Like everybody knows me and knows I'm a huge Kizzy K fan, and like the dude's won Guilty Gear tournaments, and
Mhm.
like he's just a godlike player. But it's just like, bro, real life shit hits, and it's
Yeah.
that, and it's that conversation. I don't even remember who posted it, but I remember the conversation that were it's like you put in all this work and effort to be a top player, and this is what you're making when you could just be a content streamer, for fighting games, and it's
Yeah.
like you're making more money than being dedicating your life to winning a tournament kind of
Yeah.
thing.
But yeah, I agree with that, like kind of because it's honestly at this point that's part of being a pro gamer is also creating content.
Yeah.
Like honestly, how many people in life, period, not just fighting games, but how many people like make a living off just tournaments? Like even the esports, like are they making a living off just tournaments, or is it like there's a whole ecosystem around them?
Yeah.
Content's got to be part of it, and if your content is I'm streaming 6 7 hours a day, and I put out a YouTube video while I'm streaming,
Yeah, I would love to see like the breakdown of this stuff, because
mhm,
like we've had this conversation on here before where like you sponsor, like let's just look at FGC like as a whole. And like you sponsor a player in the FGC, and it's different than like League of Legends or Overwatch or Counter-Strike or Valorant or something, because people go out and buy these teams merch because you're cheering for the team, and your team, it's like I'm a Packers fan, so it's like, yeah, I love Aaron Rodgers. He's probably my favorite quarterback of all time, but like he's not with Green Bay anymore, so I like I want him to do well. I'm not going to go out of my way and watch Aaron Rodgers play kind of thing. But man,
mhm,
when he was with Green Bay, I watched everything. But that was also because I'm a Packers fan.
yeah,
So it's different when you're
a
a
pl-
fan of an individual person
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing. So it's like, here's a good example, like Nephew. So like Nephew's on Team Liquid. I'm curious to see what that brings to Team Liquid, because Team Liquid's already such a big name
mhm,
that it's like them sponsoring Nephew, does it do anything for them? Because he still streams and does his YouTube under his name. So like Panda was a little bit different, because Panda would bring people on, but then they would do like Panda themed or Panda focused or Panda uploaded content. So they would get the views and likes for it and everything.
mhm,
And so I'm curious to see what that kind of looks like on a sponsorship level. And I say that because that's something that like I think one of my goals with moonmarauders is to sponsor a player. And it's like, so what is my goal with that? Is it just to sponsor a player because I want to see them do well, or is it to sponsor a player so they can travel more, or is it to sponsor a player so people are like, oh, what's moonmarauders? Oh, it's this community here. Feel free to join or
mhm.
whatever. So that's what my bigger conversation is like, what does that look like on a grander scale within the FGC?
Yeah, I feel you. Like it does feel like it's like what does a sponsor get out of it on the other end? Because I see a little like I feel like there's some like kind of like UIU like does something a little bit unique where like they're more like a lifestyle brand. So
Yeah.
like there'll be a lot more merch to sell. So like you'll see like, oh, this is cool shirt, cool sweater. So I'll go cop that. Um, but like
Is
other than
UIU
that,
still around?
I think they're still around. I don't know how recently I
I feel
looked at
like
their
they were
site.
they were there for like a hot ass minute, and then I haven't seen them lately.
Let's see, we got their Twitter still up, and but they have not tweeted. Oh no, I think they are. I think they are done.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just haven't seen them do anything in a while, so that's why I was like, huh.
Yeah, that looks like they are done because the last tweets are on there where it says thanks for the memories, and there hasn't been any tweets since December. So yeah, looks like they
I
are.
just feel like all of the FGC focused esports groups, this is ultimately what happens to them. So I would love to see that behind the scenes dynamic
Yeah, I
thought
agree.
process, what it
Like,
does for
I
them.
think the closest has come like it's got like Red Bull. They do cool like they'll do cool content with the sponsored players and at their events. Um, but yeah, I agree. Like, there's
Yeah,
gotta,
Red Bull's so huge though. Like that's like
yeah,
Nike sponsoring
yeah,
somebody. Like, dog, Nike's already doing what they do. We're just doing this for fun. Like
yeah.
that's what I feel like Red Bull
It's
is.
definitely. I feel like yeah, there's gotta be like more content coming for sponsor stuff to get on there because the next step. But I do see there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel because PC has become not the default, but it's honestly I want to say almost a default. Like when outside of tournaments because they're expensive and hard to carry, but out like honestly when people are playing at this point, I'm like almost surprised when they're not on PC.
Yeah,
Like when someone's like, yeah, I'm on PS5 or something. I'm almost surprised when they only have PS5 and not they don't play on PC and then this if they happen to have a PS5, I practice for PS5 for tournament. Like PC has almost become the default. So getting more like the main thing back in the day was the fact that you couldn't get the PC parts sponsors to really put money in because that's where the real money came from. Like with us, we got I got Hori Kwamba. Uh, is what shit? Are those the only the big stick makers these days? Is Hori and Kwamba? That's it.
Ori Kwamba.
And then like you have your offshoots like Hitbox and
Yeah,
Junk Food and there's this that one that's in was it Daikon I think is
yeah, the
yeah
white one, right? Yeah,
yeah that's it where like so where you could like I'm gonna get sponsored by High Power I'm gonna get sponsored by what you call it I buy Power or I get sponsored by Height Cases or something like that
yeah,
like are not sponsored by but like they're putting money into the team like I see that more like I'm looking I have the Salty Suite up on the TV and I'm looking at their sponsors and Razor's a sponsor Zinni the glasses company's a sponsor they got some game I never heard of as a sponsor, but like Razer and Zinni like
yeah,
are reaching out. I guess Nemo is sponsored by. Is he still sponsored by Razer? I don't actually know. But like
yeah. I
yeah,
actually don't know.
but like yeah. So we'll see on that. But I agree. There's definitely got every right now the way it seems is like what's outside of I wear a jersey and I probably do I maybe do some content for you like I do like you'll do a little video here and there. It doesn't seem I don't know outside of the EWC stuff where the owner gets money if the players do well at that. That's where I don't see where the incentive is to be sponsoring people right now.
Yeah. All
Outside
right,
of
I think this is a
moonmarauders
good
should
place to wrap it
fly
up
me
because
out
we're almost
somewhere
at an
because I
hour.
make my own content. So I honestly, I'm all in one. So moonmarauders should obviously just fly me somewhere.
All right, I think this is a good place to stop. We're almost, I mean, we're at like 45 minutes, and I know we're going to have another 45-minute to an hour discussion on Monday, so I don't want this to go too long
Word.
because we're going to merge these two together. So picks are locked in. I'm really excited. Everybody, I mean, I love Evo. I know it's hit or miss for some people, but like it's my go-to.
Like I'm looking for like I've seen I've been seeing like I said earlier I see the light in the tunnel. I'm seeing honestly the main thing that has been tweeted about is the fact that now the tournament hall becomes the casuals hall. As the tournament
Yeah.
starts going over, they're gonna start turning everything to casuals because of course the main thing for me has been now that they're in the convention center and it's not localized anymore. Where are people playing games if you don't have that hookup? And I'll be honest, I ain't got the hookup like I used to. I don't know people like I used to.
Bro, that's how
So,
I feel every single time I come back to Colorado. I'm like, yo, I'm so excited to see everybody. And then I go and I'm like, bro, I only know like 10% of the people here.
yeah. So now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just take over this place, or I'm gonna see such and such. It's gonna be like back in the day, you see such and such, and then you just going, hey, anyone got next? Oh, y'all afraid to play Daigo? Next, because that's literally how
Yeah,
I got a bunch of matches back in the day. Like they're afraid to play so and so. Let me get next, and now you get.
yeah,
So that part is looking real nice. So I've already like said, I'm probably you probably have to do some Moonrider Evo content next year.
yeah. I have an idea. I'll talk to you about it after we're done filming.
Where
So, all right. I think we'll end here.
and
We'll catch y'all next week. So,
this is where we'll catch you and cut.
Meanwhile, we join our heroes in the future.
hello, Duran and Chris from the past. This is Duran and Chris from the future.
We know what you don't know, but you knew one thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was pretty solid. The fact that, so the question I have is like, did we both anticipate Punk winning, or did we both just want Punk to win? We just willed him to that victory.
I think a little bit of both. Honestly, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Like we both anticipated it, but we had Punk. Sometimes he needs that spirit bomb,
Yeah.
and
I don't think I've ever been so hyped for somebody else to win a game as I was. Like, that wasn't like sports. Like, oh, Packers won the Super Bowl, Dodgers won World Series. Like, that's hype. But like, to be watching like esports level shit, bro, I was so hyped when he won, because it was just like, between America not winning for 20 plus years to him having that like on his back since the Tokido
hmm
kind of grand finals, and he finally pulled it off. It was just like
it was
relief, bro.
like the way I try to like sometimes get my wife into sports a little bit is it all comes down to like sports is about storylines. So you
Yeah.
have that's why you have your rivalries. That's why Celtic fans are still on my timeline talking about the Heat, even though
Yeah.
we went out in the first round, because they know like the storyline, the rivalry is there, and we whooped their ass the last few years. So have to get that in there. Like the rivalry between the storyline of Bronny James and Braun. That's the thing. Like it's all
Yeah.
storyline. So the Punk being as good as he is, not getting over that hump, being the second place, having that he's always had where he'll do well, be considered probably the strongest, but not win everything. Like in Street Fighter V, he's probably he for a year he was like Punk is undisputed number one, and
Bro,
then
it was crazy.
and then he
Yeah.
gets second, and then Mina comes along, and then Mina wins at the end, and then wins two Capcom Cups, and like yeah, it's so it come along, kind of eclipses him for a little bit. So him to come through again, same thing. Mina winning early, winning CEO for Street Fighter 6 last year, doing well, getting top six last year. Everything to now Punk getting consistent, kind of
Yeah.
coming up a little, like getting top eight in DreamHack, but not beating Zhao Hai, qualifying at losers, like coming up to, oh, I won CEO, first big Street Fighter 6 win since the game came out. Yeah, he's got some online wins, TNS, um, Arm the Rebels, all those online wins when you're comfortable at home, but offline hadn't done, produced the results before. So now we come here and it all accumulates in winning Evo with a crazy reset, last match, last round, wins it off a jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this was some
Bro, that the level of
Hoosiers
difficulty was
Hoosier
so
shit right
high
there, bro.
too, right? Because it was like, you watch the match and like the jump in, like it wasn't even a good jump in. But like when you're playing at such a high level that they were, that's what made it so godlike, because you're so worried about the neutral and what's happening and little intricate things that like, to an average person that doesn't understand that, you're watching it and you're like, yo, why wouldn't he anti-air that? That wasn't even like, because sometimes you get like those weird jumps and you're like, oh, I don't want to like anti-air this because it might cross me
hmm
up, or things like that. But it was just a normal jump, but that neutral game, and it was so intense. So
Yeah.
like,
Uh,
I completely understood when he got hit by it. When he got hit,
yeah.
I was like, yo, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, because he was in his mind at that time, and it
Once
was
that
just,
hit and he got
yeah,
into the corner, the first thing I did is I looked down, I looked at Big Bird's bar, and I was like, oh, he's got no bar. So then I was like, well, I'll take all the spinning mixers in the world because you don't have to, you're not gonna, you're not, you hit me that, you're still not gonna, he had literally zero. It wasn't like one and
yeah.
change or half, he had zero bar, but like, you gonna have to spinning mixer me to death, bro, because you,
I'm staying in that
I'm staying
asshole.
in the ass because you ain't getting level two off that. If you hit me
Yeah.
with three spinning mixers, because that's all you get before you burn out, hit me with three, you're not going to get 2 bars off of that. And I got 3 bars, and as soon as he hit that, I was like, put him in the corner. I looked down, I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
And then he got in there, like, had to worry about the crouch fierce, which is plus. So again, you don't want to go. You got to be aware. You got to be like, you got to think about drive rush. You got to think about shimmies. You got to think about throws. You got to think about using possibly your drive reversal, using your spinning mixer. But one mistake, I got 3 bars on deck,
Yep.
and that literally what
Yeah, if you
happened.
want to watch like fundamentals, like Footsie's 101 and Street Fighter 6, just watch that set.
Like,
Because it this like the micro movement and the spacing between the two of them back and forth, and it's just little bitty adjustments here and there, and it's just like, bro, I think all of us, because we were all in Discord watching it, and I think all of us was just like, bro, I love fighting games,
yeah.
and like, you either get it or you don't. Like, I just got done watching it, I was like, if you know, you know. That's what it just felt like to me.
Like just that, yeah, just that walk back and forth, and literally what won it? Fucking low forward, bro.
Yep,
He got hit
yep,
by low forward drive rush, and he had full
yep.
bar in 3 meters. And as soon as I hit, I
That
was
was
like,
that spacing thing going back to it, and you know, you're looking for stuff, and then he just clipped him.
Yeah,
That was it. Yep,
just had him walking backwards. That was it.
yep.
The thing
It's
that gets us
crazy.
all at the end was
Yep.
what is crouch medium drive rush.
Yeah, and then I get done and like you want to be like, yo, Cammy's so strong, she's so crazy, and but then you look and it's like, bro, what other Cammy did anything
Yeah,
at Evo?
I've still got Cammy as like A tier. I don't think Cammy's S tier.
Yeah,
I don't think she's
same.
at
But
top
you
five.
play and it's just so clean and such a high level play. It's crazy.
Yeah, I
So
mean
I
her
will
crouch
say
strong is a little annoying. I will say
it
that.
is,
But again, she ain't.
bro. When James Chen is saying that her crouch strong is too good, and we all know how much James Chen loves
Yeah.
Cammy.
Like I don't
So when
yeah.
Luke's got touched and hers didn't,
Yeah, her crouch
all
strong
right,
and dive kick are like, because those are, I don't know, like I feel like they got to touch one of those, but overall I feel like she's a fair character.
yeah.
I
And
do
she,
think
I
she touched
actually
one of
think she
those
got buffed
things.
from the previous season. I know she got nerfs, but that target combo, being able
Hmm.
to drive cancel off of it and get full combos off is so good now,
Yeah, that
man.
target combo is you getting touched and you're in the corner.
Yeah, the corner carries nutty on it. So I will say I'm very disappointed because I thought I got 3 out of the top 6. I only ended up getting 2. So both you and I called Punk, and then I also called Momochi. I wrote, and I'm so mad at myself because I wrote down Big Bird because Chris went first. So I wrote down Big Bird, and then when I started writing my list, I changed,
Oh
and I'm
yeah, I
so
forgot.
difficult.
Yeah,
I'm
you
so
threw
mad at
you
myself.
threw out Big Bird for who did you throw him out for? I think you did Fudo or something like that.
I think it was Chris Wong.
Okay, yeah, I think it was at the
Yeah,
end. I think it was at the
and I'm
end.
so mad because I wrote Big Bird, and then I took him out, and then I didn't write Ending Walker, but I just had that weird feeling because I was like, I feel like he was due because he's been putting in so much work, and
I didn't think he'd had it in. I thought it was still, you know how they say same thing. I know it's gonna be a lot of sports analogies today, but when they talk about a team being too young, I kind of thought it
yeah,
was. I thought that was for him. I thought he's gonna do well, get double digit placing or something like that. Get maybe out like I didn't have him getting like 20, I had him maybe in like the 60s, 50s, something like that, and kind of coming back. But no, that man came through and got top 3. So I definitely didn't have. He was a big surprise to me. Again, I same thing with Big Bird. I kind of thought he was due a breakthrough, but I didn't think it'd come at Evo.
yeah. Because
And
I
that's
think
good.
Big Bird is the better bird. Not taking anything away from Angry Bird. I think Angry Bird is
I
phenomenal.
agree at that. I think I've always thought that.
But like him playing Marissa, I actually think held him back. So him making the switch finally, I was like, oh, I think this is his time. But then we started kind of talking about like he's only been playing Rashid for this little bit of time though. Maybe it's too early. It's the same thought we had with Ending Walker where it was like, yo, Big Bird's godlike, but it's that is he ready? Is his Rashid
Yeah.
ready? Is his Rashid to that
I
level
felt like
yet? Kind of thing.
I felt like it wasn't Rashid because he's played Rashid at least a little bit since the DLC came out. Because I remember when everyone was doing the crazy combos and you gotta do the jump fierce like a millimeter off the floor kind of thing. I remember him posting that, but I think it was like Marissa was just a main. But it was it was just about like there was always something that happened when
Yeah.
he played. It was kind of like Punk too, I guess that was the thing. But I've seen Punk win more. And with Big
Hmm.
Bird, when I saw him win, it was always like I saw it was Red Bull Kumite. It was smaller, like online stuff, but like offline, he wasn't winning. So I thought like he's gonna break through eventually, but I didn't think Evo was gonna be the breakthrough tournament.
Yeah.
I don't think Evo will break through tournament. I mean, but I
Yeah.
thought it was. I guess Big Bird was the guy was like, man, who's your one? I guess it ended up being Big Bird.
Yeah. And I will say, I do think what helped Punk ultimately end up winning this one was I feel his, I don't want to say attitude, but his demeanor was a lot different than what you normally see Punk play. He was way more loose. There was a lot
Yeah.
of shots of him kind of joking and laughing, and
Mhm.
like I think he was trying to not put so much pressure on himself and kind of be like, "Yo, I got this. Like I can do this." Like because like that's part of like I am not the best player in the world by any means, but like I feel like I hang with I definitely hang with people that are above my skill level, and a lot of that is just like fundamentals kind of thing.
Mhm.
And like it's like sports. Like I know we keep referring to that, but like you have this in your mind, and a lot of it's mental, like where you're going in and like that's what like I remember like Infectious back in the day. He was so godlike at because like he would drop a combo or something wouldn't go his way, and his face was always the same. Didn't matter because like he was just trying not to let stuff fuck with his like mental game kind of thing. And I think that's what Punk kind of went in just being like, I'm gonna play loose, I'm gonna play like me, I'm gonna play like I know I can play, and I think ultimately that's what helped him win it all.
Yeah. Like it definitely different between like like I said, you can definitely see for a minute there was some frustration, but s- he like found it again because like you could see there's some frustration and you could see him not laughing and smiling for a minute, and then something wild happened. Or I think it was like like Big Bird had to like the oh I think it was the set where he like threw the fireball, he was negative, and then he did the level one to
Hmm.
hit Punk, and Punk was, and then the next like round Punk did like a wake up level one, and they both were like, and I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like, so I was like, okay, he's still here. He ain't like, cause I know that would have been like him laughing at that super, cause if he would just been like, I would have been like,
yeah,
ah, damn. But he laughed. He's like, yeah, that was a good. Like, not only was
yeah,
that funny because that was bad, but in that moment it was good because,
yeah,
but also that was a big coin flip because if I blocked that, that was
yeah, for
so.
sure.
So yeah, I think that you could see that, and I was like, okay, yeah, it was amazing finals, and then honestly, it's like top level play. Top six is whack. We all know that, but the night before the matches to make it to Sunday were really
Yeah,
strong.
bro. Day two Evo, like I'm gonna go out and say this. I was talking to my buddy today at work. Day two Evo is the hypest shit for me because like it is just like killer match after
Yeah,
killer match, and it's just like, bro, this is like top eights at other tournaments, and
yeah,
like at Evo, it's like, nah, dog, this is like to get in top 200.
yep.
Like, shit.
Like the type of matches you got to win just to get 65th. Like
Yeah,
like you have to beat two or three like players that back home they probably they're getting top eight in their locals. They're getting money when they go
yeah,
play, and you got to beat like two or three of those just to be like, okay, I placed well. I
yeah,
placed well enough that I'm happy with spending this money to come out here and everything.
yeah, for
Like
sure.
you gotta, and then so to get out, like yeah, because definitely because day one you're just like I hope to see someone I like playing,
Yeah,
because the matches that you're gonna get are not the hypest. But day one, or at least, but day two, when you're in that round two, like day two, every match you see is gonna be, there's
yeah.
gonna be some
Day
good
one
here.
is like, yo, the homies on stage. Let's go. It's just like that cool moment for a player type thing. And then day two is just killers, man. And
Yeah.
like, I love Evil, but at the same time, I swear this tournament just teases me. Cause like I was happy that Punk won, because I've
Hmm.
always been a Punk fan. I think the last time I was this happy was when Fudo won in what 2011, and that was just because he plays Faye. And then, but like, so to go back to our top three hopefuls, my top three hopefuls were Nephew, Jack, and Mago. Nephew and Mago tied for ninth. Jack got 13th, and it was just like, bro, I just wanted one jury to be in top six, and I had three of them like right there on the cusp of that top six area, and it's just like, uh, I just wanted one and
Uh,
ninth, and like we're saying, like ninth at Evo, bro, that ain't no
yeah.
joke, man.
It's not like I mean like if one match.
Yeah, and it's like so like nephew lost to like Shen, and then I
Oh yeah,
believe
that
it
was a
was
good ass match too. That was a good match. I
Big
remember.
Bird. So it's like, yo, this dude lost to the two people that made top six. But like that's what we were just talking about. It's
Yeah.
like you get to that point of the tournament, it's just like it's just killers.
Yeah, and
Uh,
nephew and Shin was a good match. I recall that one.
yeah. And then your boy Matsu, I know you were excited for
Yep,
him. He was the
Matsu,
highest placed Kimberly
highest place in
at
Kimberly.
17th, so that was a
Uh,
good call out.
had some good stream matches and everything. So people, I was like, yeah, Matsu's the Kim that I respect out there because he's not too wild. He plays a good balance of both. He plays, I'll be honest, plays the most like the American Kims. I feel
Yeah,
like, or so like he has he could turn on the wild too. So I was happy to see not him be the highest, but also having some good stream matches and being able to show the people who, because I mean, I think Kimberly players know about him, but I don't think just general players
yeah.
know about him. So I was happy to see him place well. I think Shine got like 65th.
That's what
Um,
I'm actually looking at the list right now, and I was looking for Shine. I don't see him.
yeah, I think Shine he posted on Twitter. I think he got like 65th, and unfortunately, he did have a good match or two on stream, but the match he lost to Noble unfortunately had some scrambles, and he
That was
ended
the
up.
Kuma, right?
Yeah, he has Noble definitely playing like very unorthodox. So the first match you could tell he got real frazzled, and it seemed like the second match he actually kind of figured it out. And then there ended up being the scramble where Shine had a checkmate situation where Noble had no meter, was burnt out, and Shine had hit him, and the combo didn't count. Like the Kimberly, sometime her stand strong. If you counter hit jab, sometimes the stand strong won't reach. So the combo didn't continue, and he didn't recognize that because he could have just been like, oh, no combo, whatever. Di got the stun and been good because he could, even if he were to DP or whatever. Like the only way it would have not worked would have been if he did like crouch jab into like DP to beat the DI. Like it wasn't looking good
Hmm.
for him. And that scramble happened. Then he got hit and put him in losers. And then from there, I I, um I forget what. Unfortunately, I don't think he got beat on stream. He had some good matches though. Like I know he beat actually my other hopeful other one I said maybe JB got beat by
Yeah,
Shine. he got he got beat by Shine. So my hopefuls one of my hopefuls took my other hopeful out.
that's the one. Like that's the worst thing about Evo, man. Like it's the great thing, and I would say my biggest complaint about Evo is there's so many great matches, and it's impossible to see them all. Like you're just not gonna be able to. Like
Oh yeah,
there's no way they're gonna be able to stream all of them.
yeah.
So
Like there's some matches on. I need to go check out. Frankie BFG who got top six for Third Strike. He
yeah,
apparently had like a crazy losers run, but there were so many matches they couldn't. He didn't get his losers run stuff, so someone actually had the ended up have the phone record the shaky cam. So I'm gonna
yeah.
have to go
And
check
for
those
people
matches
that
out.
don't know, like if you are watching Evo and like, bro, do yourself a favor and go to YouTube and type in like Kimberly Evo or Jury Evo or the player that you're really interested in, because a lot of times people will, like Chris was saying, get that shaky cam where it's somebody at pools and
Hmm.
like, dog, this isn't even on stream, and then you see it and there's tons of people watching because they know it's going to be a hype match. So it's like, do
Yep.
yourself a favor and just do a search because you never know what you'll find
Yeah.
as far as those kind of
If you got a favorite
matches
player,
go.
try checking them because I know a lot of us like to have give our phone to somebody and say, "Hey, record my match," so I have it for even if it's just for I have my own stuff so I can study later. Like often we'll be like, "Yeah, let me get let me, record you mind recording my match," and if I get something for me, I'm gonna put it on YouTube, especially if I'm doing some hot fire. If I get my ass whooped, probably ain't gonna see it.
Yeah.
Hit you
I
with the
see even your
Rashid me.
boy Cuz Lightyear got 129.
Yeah, because Lightyear, he did well. He got a match on stream. Almost hit somebody with the Twitter setups, but ended up dropping it at the end there. But got won his match on a stream. Did okay, placed pretty decently. I mean, you gotta think what 7,000 plus people, and you 120, you getting the
Yeah,
120s,
129 is not a slouch, bro.
especially with that many people. Because
He put some work in, dog.
I think I got 128th when I played Dragon Ball there, and that was like 2,000 people, and I was happy with my placement.
Yeah.
So
Do we know who was the highest place in Colorado player?
I don't know.
That's a good question. I'm gonna look it up after this. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I mean, I'm curious to see because I know we had a ton of strong Colorado players go out there, so I'm curious to see if any of them cracked that top 200. Because I feel like top
Yeah,
200,
yeah,
you
because I
going
didn't.
and being from out of state is pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't see too many people posting in there. I know Slugbug made the other pools and losers, but that's kind of like the most I didn't see too many people giving too many updates in there, so I don't know.
Yeah,
For
I'll take a look because I'm curious. Not right now, but I'll look afterwards. So I think we talked about winnings, losings, things like that. Was there anything that was announced at Evo that doesn't have to be Street Fighter related that got you excited, or let's go over ups and downs of Evo. As a streamer, I think it's cool, and I want to give our perspective too because like we've been to so many in person, but like watching is always different too. So maybe things that you liked or didn't like.
things I did like YouTube.
Yeah,
Man,
dude, YouTube was a blessing, fam.
yeah, YouTube was very like the just navigating quickly, being like, "Ooh, did I see something like that was so good?" Especially with fighting games, and to be like quickly, I'm gonna quickly back real quick, check that out. The same way I would study a match and be like, eh, and then quickly go right back, immediately back to the stream live, good quality. Didn't have to wait for stuff to load. All my ad blockers still work on stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
Twitch does too, but it's like it'll be like it's blocking the ads, and while blocking the ads, the quality will be down. So like I can still see stuff, but literally I don't get full quality until the ad's over. Whereas YouTube, immediately I got 1080p, 60 frames per second. I'm able
yeah,
to view it. Well, so that was good. I didn't. Evo is so fast and so big. I don't care that I'm not chatting. So I don't need
yeah,
that. Whereas Twitch, typically I do kind of want to interact. So with other people who are watching. So like I
yeah,
probably
bro. It's
prefer
like it
Twitch.
blows my mind that like Twitch doesn't have live rewind yet. It is the craziest thing to
Mm.
me. Like, like that's the only reason I watch YouTube over Twitch. I couldn't tell you until you were sending me like, "Yo, this dude's on stream," or "You should check this person out." Before then, I couldn't tell you the last time I actively sat down and watched Twitch because it was just like, bro, I love the functionality of just live rewind. Like I can go back. Oh, that was hot. Let me see what just happened. Or oh, I just missed that. Or oh, I had to run and go do something. And I come back and I'm at the end of a
Yeah.
match and I'm like, yo, let me see the beginning of this because I want to see this kind of thing. So
Real quick, I did check. I don't know who all went, but I do see that Slugbug got 257.
okay,
So
yeah, I
good
was just
stuff.
looking. I saw he was in the bracket with Zhao Hai. So
That's why I got okay. Yeah, I knew that, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. The stream presentation was definitely way better than last. All the ads and the stuff like especially like I hope that this same quality transfers to Capcom Cup because that was so annoying to watch.
yeah,
And so hopefully that will the production will transfer. Um, it felt like everything was coordinated. Every time this stream would take a break, you could jump on another stream, and there were matches going there, so it didn't feel like I was ever like just left there when they were trying to get matches. The Chipotle extra match stuff.
fire.
So you didn't have to wait for them to get set up. They had a match ready to go.
Was such a
Like,
cool. It
yeah,
was so little, but it was so big brain at the same time.
yeah,
Like, and the reason I say that too, because like I play like my TCG card games and stuff like that. So it's like you'll see a lot of that in TCG where it's like, oh, this match, it's supposed to be a 50-minute match. It was done in 15 minutes. Oh, we're gonna take you to this backup match. So you're not just sitting there like waiting for that match to be over, and you're like, yay, more ads, kind of thing. So it was like it was so fire and so seamless to be like, yo, that match, finished much faster than we thought. We're gonna take you to this other one or whatever.
yeah. I love that. I like that a lot. Um, Overall, I thought the stream, that's producer-wise, production-wise, was pretty awesome. The only thing I didn't, and this is like more of a personnel thing, is I didn't love Persia on the house mic specifically, like because I
Hmm.
actually do enjoy her in commentary. I think she's a good commentator. But I didn't specifically like her voice on the house mic. I don't know what it is about. I think it's something about the arena and the echo, where like, and I don't know if it's her specific. Like I think it's her specific. I think it's just her voice and how high it is, and kind of like I don't know what the
Yeah, I
word I'm
get it.
looking for,
You're
but yeah.
expecting that like booming.
I think because it's feelings, I think the voice needs to be richer and fill the space in. I think because
Yeah,
they're in such a open area. I think that's what it was. Because like Li Joe got on the mic, I was here for it, and then some of the producers and stuff like that. So I think it's literally just the type of voice you have
yeah,
for that. And I was like, so I didn't look. And then of course the segments, the sponsored RP, the AT&T segment, the reason why we can't get top six or top eight because dude's got to play rock paper scissors with Justin Wong.
bro, that was crazy to me. Like we were all saying it's like, yo, we can't get top 8 players, but we gotta watch RPS
Yeah,
in finals.
and I
Like I'm
get
cool if you're doing it day 1 and day 2, and you're trying to get those filler matches and you're waiting, and you're segueing, bro. In finals, nah, man.
and it don't make no sense because what makes you think you interrupting finals makes me want to go get AT&T Wi-Fi?
Right, right. And it was just like, I'm happy for them people that got to do rock paper, right? Because that's cool. Like getting to
Yeah,
go
of
on main
course,
stage of
bro.
Evo, that shit's fire. But like,
Mason
not during
Evo get a
finals.
stick and a PS5. I'm not. Yeah, I'm doing that. I'll do that next year if they do that again. And
Not
I
even straight.
know
It was between
knowing
games.
I'm pissing everybody off at home. Yeah, let me get this free eight
Yeah.
hundred, $900 in merch.
Like if it was like, yo, Tekken 8 just ended, we're getting ready for Street Fighter, we're gonna run rock paper scissors tournament here.
Which would make more
Cool.
sense.
Yeah, but in the middle of like top 6, bro, there's only 6, placers right now. Let's just wrap this up. Like people, I want to watch good ass Street Fighter type of
Yeah,
thing.
this don't
So
make sense because I mean it did. It took a half hour to
yeah,
switch games. That could have been
yeah.
RPS and
When you're
everything.
doing set down and setups and changing shit, bro, just get them on RPS on the stage. So I'm not sitting there and it's like Street Fighter's coming up next in 20 minutes, and I'm like, I'm waiting for this stream to start.
Yeah, y'all could have been back there. Y'all could have been doing RPS that entire time if you want to do that, or
Yeah,
whatever. Like, well, yeah, that was annoying. I've heard a lot of things about the people having issues getting into the arena and everything.
bro.
Like, I
We're gonna
already
have
didn't
a
like.
my buddy in 2 weeks, and he says he's got a lot to say about Evo because he was there, and it was just it's the same things we were talking about. From my understanding, not everybody could get into finals,
Hmm.
but you were getting charged final prices. So if you're gonna charge me for finals, like I would much rather it be like last year. Like, yo, we ran out of tickets. People can't get into finals.
Yeah.
Dope. I don't have to buy finals then.
Hmm.
Do not charge me for finals and I can't get in.
Yeah.
Bro, I would be hot.
And again, no warnings prior to, because I saw Kendra had posted on Twitter where she showed like a sign saying, the purchase is no guarantee. If you got general admin, there's no guarantee of entry. That wasn't on Smart GG.
Right.
Same thing as well. Another thing I saw there, of course, as a photographer, and of course, as our yet to be announced, maybe probably keep it secret until it's ready. Project we're working on, they mentioned once you got there, there's a what you can't have to enter Evo. One of them was a camera with a detachable lens bigger than 3 inches. The lens I'm shooting on right now is bigger than 3 inches.
Right.
Almost any zoom, like even if you're not a professional, any person who gets a zoom, who wants a decent camera and gets a zoom, is probably going to be bigger than 3 inches. So they're like, oh, if you don't have a professional camera, bro, 3 inches is not that big.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of
That's
like anyone who has a even a amateur or a hobbyist grade camera who just I take photos for fun. If you
yeah.
have a zoom because you probably only have the one lens because you want to just cover everything, it's gonna be bigger than 3 inches. And again, that's not something that was told to people beforehand. So like I know quite a few being me, I know quite a few people that like to always take their camera with them and just take pictures just for fun, let alone for professional things. So that sucks too that they changed that again. No notice in advance. You just got there. If you happen to bring your camera down, like me, if I happen to be like, I'm just gonna take my zoom, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna take my zoom. I don't want to deal with switching lenses and stuff like that. I would have had to been like, well, because I
Is
can't
Zoom
come
a
in.
smaller camera?
No, just the lens, the zoom lens, so that
Okay,
I can zoom in and out. I typically like to shoot with prime lenses, meaning it's only one focal length. If I gotta get closer, I gotta walk up. But
got you.
if I like, hey, I want to just take my zoom because I want to be able to get whatever angles I want without it's gonna be really crowded. I want to be able to, maybe do some vlog stuff. So I want to my only wide angle is my zoom. So in order for
Hmm.
me to hold it out, get this shot, I gotta have that. So
Yeah.
if I had gone in there and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna take this one, I would have been like, well, guess I'm about to walk in 120-degree heat back to my hotel
Yeah.
because I can't bring it in, and there was no warning beforehand. So that was annoying. Apparently, there's no water stations inside the actual venue. It was like you had to
What,
like
they changed that last year, bro?
yeah, apparently it wasn't like it was in the venue, but it wasn't in the hall itself. So you had to go outside around to up like in the hall, go upstairs, go to the bathroom, whatever, and there's water filling stations there, but apparently there was no water like actually inside
Attention to
the
TO runners.
the
If
convention
you are running a
itself.
large ass convention, tournament, whatever, bro, you need to have water. That is like,
Inside
yes,
the
in the
tournament
venue.
hall, bro.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, don't be like, yeah, you can go outside, you go around the corner. Like, now, how about we're already in a, you know,
And what
fucking
pisses me off is because I
hundreds of
guarantee you
feet.
they had like concessions there. I wasn't there, so I'm just guessing, but I'm guessing they had concessions there. I bet you those concession stands had water.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff, I'm hearing some things about that, but I do hope that I trust Rick to kind of address that kind of stuff. I don't think he may not. I don't things may not be said out loud. I don't know,
Mhm.
but I trust that he's taking notes of the things like he's aware of that. But oh man, I do really hope they decouple the finals, and I hope they don't be like we're just gonna get it better, and that they actually give you the choice. Like that should be
Yeah.
it. Just make it so that's I don't know if it they have to work with Smart GG because I know they've been using like last time they did like Ticketmaster. You have to like Ticketmaster or
Yeah,
whatever.
we ran into an issue with that too. So my wife's brother, he was buying tickets and he doesn't have a start.gg account
Mm,
because I mean if you don't play you're not going to have one of those, you just don't. So he went to go purchase his tickets because he was going to Evo just to like shop and hit the con and watch some matches and stuff like that. So he purchased his tickets, and well, he purchased them before he made a start.gg account. Well, after he purchased them, start.gg was like, hey, you should make an account. So he made the account and his purchase didn't link to that account.
oh
So
wow.
he had to like get in trouble, like in contact with like customer support, like, yo, did my tickets go through? I show I purchased them, but like when I go to my email, it's only showing up as one. And they're like, oh, yeah, it doesn't, your accounts don't link if you don't make it first. And it's like, nope, if you are not playing, you have no idea what the hell start.gg even is.
Well,
Like, so that needs to be super upfront, kind
yeah.
of thing.
I would say, yeah, like I don't know, they may need to just do tickets straight through start.gg or something like that. Because me personally, I thought it was cool, but I don't. If it's an extra $100, I don't care enough to pay for the arena myself. Like I
Yeah.
felt like I experienced it. It was cool. Unless I'm playing, I don't need to, or if unless I'm playing or I'm shooting, I don't personally feel a need to be there. Like maybe like, and I don't think Morgan would care either. Like she would probably be like, this is a cool experience, but she wouldn't care enough that we're gonna. So
You go because you're like sitting with the homies. Like,
yeah, but like,
that's what
but
it is.
not,
When you've
but
gone as much as we've gone,
yeah,
it's like you're going to sit with the
I've been
homies.
good enough though at this point, especially now. I'll be like, guess what? I'm proud. Honestly, I'll be playing casuals the entire finals because now I'm
Yeah.
like, casuals is open up here. I'm playing everybody. I'm trying to run this set. I'm trying to run this setup over here now, and I'm gonna sit right here and I'm gonna look over. All right, play some
No,
match.
you'd be
Between
sitting
matches, we'll
down
look
there.
over.
You'd be sitting down there because, from my understanding, there was no chairs
Nah,
at
nah,
casuals
I wouldn't
either.
be sitting down
So
there because I'm not getting up. I would have been there. I'm sitting at this station this entire time.
you'd be playing some Marvel too, bro. Be on the your stick on the floor. You got a mouse? Let me borrow that. It's much higher.
Yeah, I heard about people. I heard one dude said he stood up to stretch and someone tried to take his chair. He's like, bro, I
People
was
are
just
ruthless.
yeah. So, like, I trust those type of things will be like rectified. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Third Strike looked amazing. The way they set up
Dude, so
the
hype.
super guns and everything, and
Yeah.
the world getting to see High Owl. See what he does.
I've never seen that, so that was cool to see him do splits and antics and jumping
Yeah.
around. And it's funny too because the entire time I was watching him, he reminded me of Kenny. If people don't know Kenny, because he's just this super over enthusiastic person kind of thing, so it reminded me of that. But I will also say it was cool watching Evo. I I don't. I don't want to say evolve, but that's the only thing I can think of is like watching Evo evolve because like you can really see the impact that Rick's had on Evo
Hmm.
because like the all day venue kind of thing and like
Yeah.
it you could just see like the arcade area and like it's just a ton of combo breaker things like
Yeah, the arcade area, all day venue, having the venue open all on Sunday, so you people again, because like said, like again, the reason why I haven't been back and the reason why, we had our experience that we had the last time we were there together was when Sunday came around. Okay, finals are over. Now what?
yeah.
And
Oh, it was even worse last year. When we went last year, we couldn't even get into finals. So it was like you, we were like, it's Sunday. We still have a whole ass day here. What are we gonna do? So the venue was closed. You couldn't do anything. So we just went back to Britt's brother's house and like we barbecued and we just watched finals. Like it was cool. Like we had a good time doing it. But like if you're an average person there and your whole weekend is planned around Evo and that Sunday rolls around and you're like, I don't know what else to do, kind of thing. It is cool that they changed it so it's an all weekend thing. You have stuff to do,
yeah.
things of that nature. One of my favorite things was actually the Evo special event stream,
Mm.
because it was like day one, like it's like we talked about, like sometimes day one there's not a lot of fire matches.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like filler, and you're happy if you see a top player kind of thing,
Yeah, you want
kind
to
of
see a top
thing.
player destroy some random who happened to also be on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah. So, but then like they had the special event stream, so they had like like exhibition set up. So it was like, yo, watching Justin Wong and Yipes play.
Yeah.
It was only a first of three or whatever, but it was fun. But then they did like Family Feud FGC edition, where like you had to answer questions and things like that. And it was like, yo, that's cool because like to an average person, not everybody is super hardcore like we are, where we're like, yo, we play all the time. Our lives revolve around FGC. We've some of our best friends we've met through it. So it's like just to have that opportunity for that more casual player to be like, I love Evo, but like I may not be into Evo like that. I want to watch,
Yeah.
special announcements and entertainment value type stuff. It almost feels like SDCC, where you go to San Diego Comic Con and you're watching like, oh, the Avengers cast is gonna be there. So you're like, oh, I want to watch that. So it's cool to have that kind of interaction and humanize these players more, where it's not just in that element of like, oh, I want to see Justin Wong or I want to see Yipes, but he's always on commentary or whatever. So it's like cool to have them be doing these events kind of thing, and you get to see them and meet them and things like that. So
Yeah, I think and then also like I think like especially depending on when you started, like it's like there are people that might look at like they look at Justin as like well, I mean I think Justin's still up there, but primarily you might look at him as just a commentator or content creator.
hmm
Like yes he's good, but he's always he's streaming, he's making his stuff. Same
yeah,
thing
he's
with
the family
Yipes.
man.
Yipes
Yep.
you might think of Yipes as just a commentator. Yipes is an Evo champion.
Yep.
Yipes have an Evo trophy for MVC2 in the heyday of Justin Wong. All
Yeah.
right, so like
Playing MSP too, which is like the squishiest of the top
yeah,
tier
like
teams. Like,
yeah, so like there are people like also it's cool to like remind people like hey these are like top guys. These were like Justin Wong like again as if you did the Evo trivia video, Justin Wong has is the winningest Evo
yep,
champion right
with
now.
9, I believe.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's at 9. I think Sonic Fox is at like 5 or 6 right now.
Yep.
So
I
after
think he's at 8 now,
is
dude.
he at 8? Damn.
I know. Well, Arslan Ash is on
Arsenal Ash is on 5 now.
5, which
five,
is crazy.
5 in like a 3-year period. So I mean to
That's
be, I guess
crazy.
I mean, I guess we're counting
Yeah,
Evo Japan.
Sonic Fox is at 7 Evo championships.
Damn. I guess we're
Yeah.
counting Evo Japan now these days. I think we had that conversation too.
That brings me to my other thing that I didn't like about Evo. Uh, I'm very conflicted with the multiple Evos thing.
Mm,
Um, I will say I think it's cool. I like the international ones. I
y-
like Japan. I like France because
yeah,
not everybody can travel across seas. Like I've never left the country, so like
same.
realistically, I'm not going to Evo Japan. Because
I,
if I'm
I
going
mean,
to Japan, it's probably not for Evo.
I
Like
mean, I would try. I will let's see, but
or
because
France or
same, yeah, like I would.
anything
I
like
mean,
that.
I would plan around it. Like me personally, I would try to plan around it. So, because like again, I also haven't been out the country since I was an adult. When I was in the country, I was a kid, so I don't remember too much. But we lived in Germany for a little bit because military. But I don't remember
Yeah,
too much about that. I was maybe 5 years old when that happened. I have not been out the country as an adult. So, I mean, definitely makes sense that if I were to go and let's say, for whatever reason Morgan couldn't come, then it would make sense. Okay, I'm gonna plan around Evil Japan because I know a bunch of other like-minded people who speak Japanese better than me are gonna all be there. So I'm gonna tag along with a
yeah.
group.
No,
Or
I
same
don't
thing with
disagree. It's cool.
France. That makes sense. And I would
Yeah,
definitely try to do that, of course. But of course, that would have to be some circumstances where she straight up cannot come with me because honestly, if I'm going to France, I'm going to Japan. Am I going to play just video games, or is my wife gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm trying to come to fucking Nice." Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
we gonna have to plan around. Okay, well,
Yeah, I
we go.
think the internationals are fire because it's like,
Yeah.
I want Evo Japan, I want Evo France, and then there's Evo. The only one I don't like is the Los Angeles one because it's so weird to me because I'm like, bro, we already have Evo in the United
Well, from
States.
what I can tell, it seems like it's just gonna be an award show. So maybe there might be like side stuff, but I don't think it's gonna
Okay, if
be.
that's the case, that's cool. I'm cool with that. I
Yeah.
just don't want it to
I
be
want to know
like,
how that works though. Like what awards that you're giving slash like how's that gonna work? Because it feels like we'll see.
yeah,
Like okay, with first award show, who's winning? Like okay, just I mean Justin Wong's gonna win something. The
yeah,
directors of the games,
the
Harada,
cannons are
the
probably gonna
Cannon's
get,
gonna win
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like, but once you get past that first layer, how are you gonna keep I wonder how this is sustainable there to have
Bro, you know
have
what would
that
be
award show
fire is if it
every.
was a reward show and they did like oh you like exhibition matches like
Oh,
oh
okay.
USA versus Japan,
If it was an
Korea.
actual event, I'd be cool with that. Because then I'm
Yeah,
still gonna be like, oh, if it's just one exhibition and
yeah,
it's a
bro.
whole
Ain't
award
nobody trying to
show,
watch.
I don't watch
Yeah,
regular award shows, niggas. What I care, like, so I'm
I'll
supposed to,
say ain't nobody trying to watch the Oscars of Evo.
yeah, I'm
Like,
supposed to care because it's fighting games now. I don't, no one, like, we don't watch regular award shows.
yeah,
You go,
yeah, I
who's coming,
agree.
who, you gonna have, what's his name? Red, the guy who used to do all the raps for the Evo
Yeah,
intros. You
I
gonna come,
remember that.
he coming out to do a performance. You gonna have Dr. B and DJ iPad out there and shit, like, oh, come on, bro. We ain't trying to. But I have been wrong before, so I will peep and
Yeah,
judge
yeah,
accordingly.
maybe we'll see. Maybe that's
Honestly,
when
of everything announced, Evo Singapore, which I think is kind of coming 2026, that one honestly sounds the most interesting to me because I've heard so many cool things about like Singapore and visiting there, and they don't really get enough reasons to have people come out there. And
hmm
so we'll see. So I'm
yeah,
not. But yes, we as we talked about, kind of is the prestige of Evo winning it, calling you that you won Evo, gonna be the same if you win Evo Nice versus winning Evo
yeah,
Vegas. Like back when we had Evo East and West, it already wasn't. Evo East and West was like a tournament that you want to do well, but like you wouldn't compare that to Evo World as they
yeah.
called it at the time. Evo World win.
Yeah, as long as they still make Vegas like Evo, like it has to be. I'm cool with the international thing because I love seeing other talent. I will say it is kind of shitty when like people only come to America. Like
I agree.
I I want those play. I want it to be reversed. Where like, yo, we're having some of America's best players going over to France and Japan and
Mm.
things like that.
Yeah, I think it would be it's a kind of creative way to get around the fact that at least currently here in America, the back half of the year really has no big majors. Like even with East Coast Throwdown being a Capcom Cup tournament, it's still not. I don't feel like it's gonna end up being like it's not gonna be comparable to CEO. I think, which is CEO and Combo Breaker and Evo are the big three on that J Cole Kendrick shit with the Evo being the Kendrick, but like then after that, there's no like no one, there's no tournament like the tournaments below them. They're not like right below. They're like significantly smaller
Yeah.
compared to like there's no international. There's nothing. No internationals are coming for this. People aren't really. If you aren't a pro player, you're not traveling for it. And even if you're a pro player, you might necessarily travel for it. Again, they'll probably travel this year because the Capcom Cup qualifier. But like, if you're not sponsored, you're not coming for this. This is not a tournament that like a lot of people who are just here in Colorado, Arizona,
Hmm.
even in Cali. Like they're not. If you're not trying to qualify or have a chance of qualifying, you're not just gonna go. Whereas back in the day, you would go to NEC, you would go to SoCal regionals, NorCal regionals, South Northwest majors, all those tournaments that no longer exist that were big regional draws. Like we don't even have that anymore. So I think maybe they're like, okay, well, you're not. That's money that you're not spending, and you got a
Yeah.
passport. Maybe you spend
Yeah.
that money you would have spent on a tournament on going to Nice. Because I tell you, bro, if I it was like it was just hey five like well, again if you can get it right, especially because Nice I mean Nice is a big tourist destination, but it's not Paris.
Right.
So like you might be able to get you something for a little bit better going to Nice and
Yeah. For sure.
so I can see that. So yeah, I think that'd be cool. But there's all the prestige is not. It's not going to be the same, and I hope they actually switch it up. Maybe like give them like kind of how the Olympics does. Every city has their own logo. I think that'd be dope if they do like a to make it so okay the Evo that we all know is Vegas, but maybe we switch Evo. Nice has their own logo, Japan, etc. Make it so that it's its own thing, and it's not just you know it's
Yeah.
not the same. It's not just an extension. It's something if its own thing. Because I'm not. I personally am not going to look at Evo Nice like okay, you won Evo Nice. Yes, you're a good player, probably a top player, but I'm not going to look at you like you're punk because you won Evo Nice.
Yeah. For
Minna
sure.
won Evo Japan, and I like again that's a great victory, but it's because of the players that are there. Like you won it in their air, you went and won it in their area against strong players. But we all know everyone wasn't there. Whereas at Evo Vegas, everyone's here, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I want to do a hard stop here because this is an hour, so this is gonna be a 2 hour episode, and then the next episode we're going over. We're gonna talk about Evo again as well. So I don't want a 3 hour or 2.5 hour block us just
No
talking
worries.
about Evo and then following up with Evo as well. But we do have some cool things behind the scenes that we're working on. I don't know if everybody that hasn't seen yet, we have an exhibition happening on August 1st with Colorado versus Arizona. That's going to be a lot of fun. To break it down for everybody, it's essentially going to be a 7v7. Each match that you win counts as a point. So it's super important that players, even if like first dude goes up and gets blown out in his first to 5-0, we don't care. If you're down, it does not matter. And the reason I say this is because you could have other people reverse 5-0 somebody kind of thing. So every match you win in your first to fives gives you 1 point. Whoever has the most points at the very end of it all is going to win it all. So I'm really excited for this. We had a lot of work and effort in behind the scenes for this one, but I'm hoping this is going to be the first of many because we saw Arizona. I've already reached out to Nebraska, so we're working on that one. And then next on my radar is New Mexico. And then I would love to get some Texas in here involved as well. And then I'm also hoping if we get enough, we can do kind of a league of sorts for each state representation. So that should be really exciting. I think states are easier. I try to do it with like other servers where it's like, oh, this server versus this server. You pick your 5 people, and it's weird. People are weird with server conversation kind of stuff, so I get it. But I think state is easier
Mhm.
because then it's like if you're not in Colorado, you just can't be on the team, kind of thing or whatever. But I'm really excited, and I also think this is good too because I think this will level up different territories
Mhm.
where you're not just playing Colorado all the time. You're not just playing Arizona all the time. You're playing different regions, and I'm hoping that we can kind of get these out and about, and people can kind of see them and go, man, I'd love for Kansas to get in here, or those lesser known areas that do have some killer communities that you just don't hear a ton about,
Yeah,
because everything's usually West Coast, East Coast kind of thing. So
for sure. Yeah, I'm hyped. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Um, yeah, I'm on the team, so there's so
Oh,
looking.
and especially that's what I haven't even told anybody this yet. So Mustaine is going to be commentating it. We actually have somebody from Arizona that's going to join him to commentate. So Chris is still going to be the primary streamer, but I think it's going to be easier for him to. He's free to commentate, but we want Colorado to win, of course.
A lot of people say
So
that. Yeah.
so he's gonna be the coach. I'm sure he's gonna be wanting to talk to his boys and stuff like that in the thread. But I thought it would be cool to get a commentator from each state in there commentating. I think it'll be fun banter, because there's always gonna be a little bit of that bias because you're gonna want to see your team win and succeed. So I thought it'd be cool to get one of each side in there. So
Yeah, so I'm excited for it here. Got a couple as this drops. We have what, a week when this drops? Yeah.
yep.
So
So this
yeah.
will be out Thursday, and then that event is going to be the following Thursday, and I'm
Yeah.
really excited for that. I got to push that poster out some, because we definitely haven't been promoting as much as we need to. But I got a little bit of work that I got to do to get Chris over some stuff, because I got a couple cool ideas that I think will help liven things up as well. So
All right. So thanks for joining us for this two-parter here. In this one, we have more to talk about next time. I just want to say, Black Excellence, 5 Black Evo champs, I believe we had here, this weekend, including the number one Punk the God. So
it was Punk,
Punk,
Nitro.
Nitro, Aaron the God won Grand Blue. Which
Okay.
is hilarious because he tweeted like July 1st. So he's like, already entered, but I might not. There's 99% chance I won't play because near. And what happened? Won. So
And he doesn't play near, so it's even better, right?
yeah, no, he does not play
Yeah.
near. He didn't want to play because of near.
Oh,
He's
I
like,
actually did watch
yeah,
that, and yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
yeah. So Punk, Aaron the God, Nitro, Enzim won Dragon Ball, and then Sonic Fox won Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Woo.
So that's
Hey, I was just
there,
excited for USA, man, because if you were in the FGC, you know how much
bro. I was
Japan has been washing
I was
for
I was
years.
what, Evo 2008. I remember I had just started working at Play and Trade, so I couldn't go to Evo that year, and so I'm literally at the job at Play and Trade. They didn't have no internet there, so I had to hook my BlackBerry up to
Oof.
like my laptop to tether it to get 3G internet on
This is
on
when I
there.
would enter Hustle and Flow. It's hard out here for a
Just
real.
so I could get on just so I could get on RSC to find out what happened. And that was the year John Choi won CBS 2, and it was the last year of CBS 2. That's the last time America had a hype big game moment at Evo. Because that was before Street Fighter, because Street Fighter 4 hadn't come out yet. So that was a lot, and Third Strike had kind of fell off. So that year CBS 2 was kind of the main game because we also knew it was the last year of CBS 2, and John Choi won, and that was the last time I was like, oh my god! And then
That's why I was trying to tell Brittany the
a
significance of us
drought,
winning Street Fighter was like,
a
bro, we
drought.
haven't won Street Fighter in 20 years, 20
Yeah,
plus years.
yeah.
So it's just,
So yeah, to go from the last we just won the main game was like 2008. That was the last. Hey, this is the biggest game at Evo. That's the last win we got. Since then, we have not won like the game, like the Street
yeah,
Fighter game. Except we'll give Sonic Fox Dragon Ball because that was the biggest game that year. But to be like Street Fight, the Street
yeah.
Fighter
That
title,
5,000 plus, yeah, yeah, for sure.
the Street Fighter title, that still means something. Even though Dragon Ball was bigger because it was Dragon Ball, the title of Street Fighter, that that prestige of Street Fighter, because that's what built this scene
Yeah.
for real. That wasn't there. We haven't had that, so we gonna
Fine.
talk our shit for a year.
Well,
Don't
I'm curious to see too if
don't let
this.
him run back. Don't let him run back Capcom Cup, bro.
I was gonna say I'm curious to see what happens next year if he runs it back again. And the reason I say that is now that he's won and he's kind of got that pressure off of him, and
We got stuff coming up, so we'll have to talk about
uh,
that in episode 2. We already said, but EWC's coming up in a few weeks.
yeah.
So
So
that
I'll let Chris send us off like usual.
thank you for joining us on this two-fighter. If you suck to the end, and what about what? Peace. Peace.